Hey guys, Marcus here, and I'm actually gonna do a kind of a episodic kind of thing. It's gonna be over a week, so it's just like every week I'm gonna be putting it up, and it's gonna be basically like what happened in the week of Magic, basically, the top decks, what I think is gonna be good, all that stuff. So let's start things out with what I think are the top 5 decks in Standard right now. Like, these are basically like the decks that most people have been playing, doing well with, etc. For the most part, what I think. My opinions, obviously. Alright, so we're going to go with number 1. Oh, sorry, this is number 5, my apologies. I think it's Kotal Tharib. This deck is super explosive, obviously. It can kill people on turn, 3. Turn 3 before you even get to play Jace. So, I mean, if you don't know what it is, it has, basically, the main card of it is Kotal the Rebirth. Obviously, you stack an artifact, you get 3/1/1 goblins. With cards like Memnite, you just play that 0 mana. Your first turn consists of, Memnite, sack, Memnite, Kotal the Rebirth. That's like a normal play. 3/1/1s, turn 1. Next turn, you play a Bushwhacker. You're attacking them for 8. Turn 2. That's turn 2. 8 damage on turn 2, that's unheard of. And then, turn 3, if you just play, another Goblin Bushwhacker, they're basically dead. Or on the second turn, if you played a Goblin War Driver, attack for 3, next turn play Goblin Bushwhacker, they're basically dead as well. And then, with the release of Scars of Mirrodin, as you should all know, Signal Pest adds to the deck quite a lot, and so does Goblin War Driver. So I think that's the fifth best deck in the format right now. Alright, moving on. We have Green-White Quest. Now, there's other formations of this deck, like Mono-White Quest, etc. But I think this one's better. I think it has better mid-game to long game. So just in case they stop your first quest, I mean, you have Fauna Shaman Vengevine to come back from, and you can still just aggro them out with that. Vengevine right now is really good, especially against Cawblade and all sorts of other control decks like that, because Vengevine, they only have a couple outs to deal with it, and that's turned into nowhere usually, or just a bigger creature to block it. This deck is also quite fast. I mean, it can win on turn 2. I mean, you have to get really lucky to win on turn 2, but you can assemble the Quest for Holy Relic, Argentum Armor on turn 2. You can even do it on turn 1 if you have the quad Memnite Plains, Quest for the Holy Relic, Glinthawk hand. But I think this really it's a resilient deck. It's quite good. It has basically options all around, and yeah, I think that's why it's number 4. Number 3 of what I think is Valakut. This deck hasn't been doing very well lately, basically because of Cawblade, but I think this is a really good deck. I think people can sleep on, or might be sleeping on it a little bit. Everybody's just playing Cawblade, and nobody's really playing Valakut. I mean, I'm sure some people are, but this deck is still really good. Nothing has changed really, and it even got Green Sun Zenith, which is quite good for the deck. It's basically Primeval Titan 5 through 8, which is pretty bonkers. Can still turn 4 Titan and just straight up win the game by that. I still think it's a really good deck. It's just Cawblade and Boros aren't the best of matchups. But we'll see. I still think it's really good. It's definitely a deck you can take and expect to go X2 or something like that. It's a solid deck no matter what. But yeah, that's what I think is number 3. Number 2, that would be Boros. Yeah, Boros. So, this deck came second at the last Pro Tour by Paul Rietzel, and it also came top 8 by another guy, I think. Is that the top 8 or top 4? Anyways, this deck's super fast. I mean, it's got Steplinks, Goblin Guide, it has 1-drops. I mean, Steplinks can attack for 4 on turn 2 with a Snapland, bring in Goblin Guide. It also has the Stoneforge Mystic package, which a lot of decks are having right now. Squadron Hawk's always good. And then it gains Hero of Oxidridge, just pushes it over the edge. It also gains cards like Mirror Crusader, cards like that. It's pretty powerful. It can definitely kill you quite fast with a bunch of landfall triggers like plated GP'd Step Blinks. The deck plays like 12 snap lands or something like that. It's pretty good average for drawing a snap land. But yeah, it's super fast, super resilient actually. Because, I mean, you don't have to go all out and just dump everything to lose to a Wrath of God. Day of Judgment, I guess, now. And it's also really resistant, of course, with Stoneforge Mystic getting up all the equipment and stuff like that. But yeah, I really think this deck's quite strong. And it's got a good matchup versus Cobblade, apparently. I guess Bill Stark said otherwise. Well, actually, he doesn't say otherwise, he just beats it anyways. But yeah, really good deck. I think it's number 2. So, final deck, obviously, Cobblade. This deck is out of control right now. So many people are playing this deck. It's just winning everything. Well, basically. I mean, it didn't win last week at the SGC Open due to mono red. But, anyways, this deck is ridiculous. It plays, like, almost all the best cards in the format. I mean, Jace, obviously, is retarded. Like, Stoneforge Mystic is skyrocketed in price because of this deck and all the other decks that are playing it. Sword of Feast and Famine, just absolutely a ridiculous card. Gideon Jura, another ridiculous card, and, of course, Squadron Hawk. Yeah, the basis of this deck, if you don't know what it is, it's basically kind of mid-range control deck, mostly control deck. I mean, it plays Squadron Hawks and Stoneforge Mystics to hold off the early pressure by other decks. Late games, it has Gideon Jura of Jace. Well, I guess the late to mid games to stave off everything, and it usually just gets Squadron Hawk, Sword of Feast and Famine, or Stoneforge Mystics for Sword of Feast and Famine, and just beats them down. Just because Sword of Feast and Famine, in those situations, I mean, turn 5, equip it to this Mystic, attack, they take 3, discard a card, you untap all your lands, you untap and play Gideon, and then it's just like, you're just so far ahead, because they can't attack you, they have to attack Gideon, and if they don't kill Gideon, I mean, next turn, they're all tapped out, so you just swing into the Mystic again, untap everything, play like a Jace, then you can play the Jace pre-combat, bounce something of theirs or draw some cards, attack, untap all the lands, do whatever you want. You can hold up Counter Mana, hold up Mana Leak, hold up Deprive, whatever you're playing. Now, this thing is bonkers. It's actually quite expensive as well. But anyways, yeah, that's the 5 best decks in my opinion. I mean, decks that aren't on this list, not a lot of people are playing actually, but they are still good. Like Rug is quite good. I think it's gained a lot. I mean, it has Precursor Golem now, which is pretty funny, just because not a ton of decks are playing like spot removal that it hits. I mean, Go for the Throat doesn't hit it. Basically, just Lightning Bolt a lot of the times. I mean, some decks are still playing Doomblade with like vampires and stuff like that. But anyways, that's the top 5 decks I think right now in Standard. Yeah, let me know what you think. I think this is a pretty cool idea. But that's it for now. That's it. Later.